All righty. Oh, actually, give me a second. Can you please go ahead and record Eunice on your side? It won't let me change out of my view. Sorry about that. All right, great. All right, everybody. First off, thank you so much for joining us today for Connect Blockchain and Web3, the event that brings together leading media from around the globe with startups that are paving the way for the future of Web3 and blockchain technology. My name is Jim Glade. I'm a principal at Publicize, which is a PR firm for growth, as well as managing editor at Espacio, a media incubator based in Medellin, Colombia. We're really pleased to be joined today by a host of leading journalists who report on the fields of technology, business, and all things crypto. We're really equally privileged to host 9 of the most exciting blockchain and Web3 startups as they pitch their ventures in front of these distinguished media judges. Before I begin, I wanted to mention if there's any startups that have questions regarding PR, feel free to reach out to me at info@publicize.co or email me directly at jim@publicize.co. We have a ton of startups to get through today, so without any further ado, I'll hop right into it. Judges, I'm going to introduce you. If you wouldn't mind just coming on, saying hello, waving hi, so we could put a face to the bio after I read your bio. First up, based in New York, but calling from Miami, we have Layla Maiden, who is an investing correspondent for the markets division of Business Insider and the host of its video interview series, Block Street. She covers a wide variety of topics, but much of her coverage caters to retail investors with a focus on cryptocurrencies and trading strategies. Layla made the switch to journalism after a long career in foreign policy, holding numerous positions at the United Nations, including within the Office for Disarmament Affairs. She is a recipient of the College Coronavirus Coverage Award from the Society of Professional Journalists for her work while studying at City University of New York. Layla, we're really happy to have you here.
Hi, Jim. Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. Next up, we have Ivan Mehta, who is the technology reporter for The Next Web, a leading technology news publication and events company owned by the Financial Times. Ivan covers a host of areas for The Next Web, including artificial intelligence, internet culture, security, big tech, as well as India's entrepreneurial ecosystem. Before joining The Next Web, Ivan was a technology reporter at Huffington Post. Ivan, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Jim. Yeah.
Always good to see you, sir. Next up, we have Navanita Sachdev. She's the editor of The Tech Panda, one of India's leading technology news sites. She's also a regular contributor to the Indian Express, Entrepreneur India, and the Business Standard, which is one of the leading business publications from India. Navanita, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Jim. Thanks. I'm glad to be here.
Always good to see you too. John Biggs, he's the editor-in-chief of the Metaverse Post, the first media outlet that focuses exclusively on the metaverse, blockchain, and NFTs. John has a long history in tech media, having spent over 12 years at TechCrunch as an editor, as well as other leading publications like Gizmodo and CoinDesk. He also produces editorial content for companies via his startup Typewriter Plus, and his journalism has been featured in publications including the New York Times, Men's Health, Popular Science, and many, many more. He's an author and a literature buff, and I subscribe to his Great Reads newsletter, where he provides a monthly reading recommendation list. I think you guys should too. John, thank you for joining us.
Howdy, thanks.
Next up, we have Liran Huri, who writes about SMBs and technology for Forbes Advisor, a global platform for consumer finance advice from Forbes. She's based in New York City and often covers cryptocurrency, real estate, politics, and technology. Her journalistic work has also been featured in publications like Quartz, The Village Voice, The Gothamist, Slate, Salon, and many, many more. And she's helped craft editorial content and marketing strategy for some of the biggest brands, including WeWork and Wix. Liran, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, it's great to be here.
It's It's good to have you. Philip Axelieve, or you can just call me Phil, as he prefers on his LinkedIn, is a contributing writer to Forbes, where he covers blockchain marketing, crypto marketing, customer acquisition, monetization, everything under the sun, lead generation, marketing automation, all that good stuff. Phil also consults for many companies on growth and marketing and is an advisory board member at BWG Strategy, an invite-only network for senior executives across technology, media, and the telecom space. Phil, thank you for joining us.
Thanks so much. I'm happy to be here.
It's good to have you. I think you have a voice for this too, by the way. Next up, we have Fernando Mejia. He's the Senior Director and Managing Editor at Televisa Univision, the world's largest Spanish language media company, encompassing 36 Spanish language cable networks, 59 TV stations across the US, and over 50 radio stations in the US alone. In his role, Fernando leads a news team of 40 people across 3 countries that report news in digital format for a Spanish-speaking audience in the US. He has a storied career in journalism, having reported from countries including the US, Japan, and Spain for EFE, the leading Spanish language news agency. And according to his LinkedIn, he has a studious eye on the future of Web3, blockchain, and the metaverse. So it's really great to have Fernando here with us today. Thank you, Fernando.
Thank you for having me, Jim.
No, it's really a pleasure. And last but not least, Julian Tavares is a contributor for Entrepreneur Magazine's Spanish language edition, Entrepreneur en Español, where he covers innovation and startups from around Latin America. He's also the editor of Soy Emprendedor, a leading Spanish language publication covering startup ecosystems and entrepreneurship. His work has been featured in publications like Forbes, El Tiempo, and Portafolio, a leading Latin American business news outlet. Julian, thanks for joining us as well.
Thank you, Jim, for the opportunity.
It's good to see you, man. All right. Well, again, super honored to have such a talented list of people here with us today. Let's go ahead and begin with the competition. Startups, as I mentioned, I'm going to bring you on in the presenter role. Give you 2 minutes to speak. You'll be able to share your screen. And after that, we'll open it up for a few questions from the media panel. Judges, feel free to just speak out. Really relaxed environment here, so no need to raise hands or anything like that. Feel free to speak out. First up, we have Javier with Brave. Javier, give me 1 second and I'll give you the presenter role. All right, Javier, you should be able to share your screen.
Okay. A second.
Mm-hmm.
Go. Can you see my screen, guys?
Yep, we can see your screen now. Got a lot of tabs.
Yes. Okay,
All right,
we can start.
We can see this whenever you're ready. Go ahead and start, Javier, and I'll start the timer.
So, okay, let's start. Sorry. Thanks very much, guys, for having us representing Brave. My name is Javier Gutierrez. I'm co-founder and CEO. And we founded back in 2018 this company with my wife for 3 main reasons. The first one was for our little one. He's 6 now. And we know that in a couple of years from now, according to the statistics, he will be accessing to content and products for adults online. The second one is because as consumers, we are more aware about our privacy and we are more careful about sharing our identity IDs and personal data with anyone. And the last one was because we are doing this for all these braves that keep the world moving, these small businesses that face the disadvantages and fees of conventional payment systems. For all of them, we introduce BravePay. BravePay is a digital payment network that rests on 3 tech pillars. The first one, blockchain, is built on the backbone of the Stellar network and powers fast and secure payments while ensuring that user privacy is completely safe. Second is artificial intelligence. With just a selfie, our AI makes sure that children don't get access to products and contents they shouldn't buy or see. And last one, a powerful CRM that, unlike other payment networks, brings small businesses the competitive edge and full control of their operations in crypto. Our business model is fair and transparent. 70% of our income comes from the use of Brave Coin, the official currency in the payment network. And thanks to this, our system can be 100% free for most of the consumers. For other clients with the special requirements, we collect a monthly fee. So the future belongs to the Braves, and we are brave, and we make age control payments simple. Thank you.
Awesome, Javier. Thank you so much. And just under time as well. So congratulations. We'll go ahead, open up. Who's going to be the first journalist to start us off with a question or any feedback for Javier?
I'll go first. What is the user interface? Is this like a B2B product or an end user product? And if it's B2B or end user, how do I, as a user, interact with this? Is it an app on my phone? And what are the exact?
Yeah, that's a very good question. It's a complete product ecosystem that rests on three elements. There is a end user app that you have in your phone, and you go through a very lightweight registration process through this artificial intelligence that I was mentioning. Then there is the coin, which is already released and is in the Stellar network, Brave Coin. And the third pillar is the product ecosystem for the businesses. So it just needs an app on any smartphone can become a payment system, like a data phone that is a virtual one. There is the portal where they can give access to different staff members. They can manage all the statistics of their businesses and so on. There's also the API that can be connected in the online businesses. So it's a full 360 product.
So who is this for specifically?
This is for different verticals of products. You can think about industries like, for instance, some of our initial clients are in the entertainment industry, organizers of concerts, festivals, ticketing companies, also tobacco, vaping, cannabis, all these products that sell online and require age controls and try to make sure that underage are not paying for the products. And as well as hospitality business. It's one of our important verticals.
I just have to ask, this scans children's faces, and I'd assume parents would have some concern over security and where that data goes. Where is that data stored, and how is that data secured?
Yeah, we don't store any of these selfies, all this data. So it's a process that happens just once. The user takes the selfie. We analyze with a neural network that this is especially trained to recognize ages. And this picture is deleted in the end of the process. It's completely destroyed. We don't do anything with this data. We just tag the user as over 18 or over 21. We give this age tag to that specific user in a complete anonymous manner. And we don't even use this picture to train the system or whatever, because it's not our intention.
What regions do you operate in, and can you give us a bit of idea about how many companies are using your product as taking payments?
We are on a beta phase at this stage. We test this with some players in the tobacco industry, alcohol industry, entertainment industry, and we just being compliant in the crypto business. Especially nowadays, where all these crypto typhoons that are happening, it's important to be very compliant. So we are requesting the license from the Central Bank of Spain to be able to operate. That's a requisite before we go live in full blast into our commercial strategy.
So from a business model perspective, I assume you guys are taking part of the transaction fees. Is there any other monetization model in place?
Yeah, well, we own the most of the supply of the coin in the network, and there is a release algorithm based on the volume of transactions. So it's kind of the mining process that different because all the coins are produced already. So there is one source of income coming from that, 70%, as I was mentioning in the presentation. And then we collect a fee for those businesses that have special requirements. For instance, if you are a business that only operates with one staff member, is completely for free. You can have it in a small business. if you have multiple staff members or multiple business units, there is a monthly fee per business unit and a monthly fee per license of the users that you're having. But besides that, there is no fee when it comes to transaction as conventional systems that take a cut on every payment.
All right. Thank you, Javier, very much. Great presentation and congratulations on what you're building so far. We're going to move things along. I'm going to bring up the next panelist. I have George from Atlas Navi. George, give me 1 second. Let me make you the co-host. All right, George, you should be able to share your screen whenever you're ready.
Can you see it? Hi.
Yes. Yep, we could share.
Okay, cool.
We could see you and hear you loud and clear. So whenever you're ready, please go ahead and start.
That's good. Hi, everyone. My name is George Grama. I'm the founder of Atlas Navi, a drive-to-earn AI navigation app that uses your smartphone camera to analyze the road ahead and automatically detect traffic in each lane, road construction, accidents, potholes, and parking spaces. So in our research shows that commuters waste an average of 119 hours a year stuck in traffic, especially in LA. And it's getting worse every year. There's a clear need to have real-time eyes on the road, which can better detect and anticipate traffic congestion and unsafe driving conditions. So with Atlas Navi, we're solving that problem way beyond what other navigation apps do. So Google Maps and Waze rely mostly on the GPS sensors in the smartphone and the self-reporting functionality from Waze. But Atlas Navi is your co-pilot. So we leverage the cameras on your phones or dash cams to analyze the road 25 times per second. Whereas with Waze, you only get 3% of the drivers to actually report something on a monthly basis. With us, everything is reported in real time all the time. The app saves you trip history, your trip videos, but beyond all that, it actually pays you to drive for each and every mile. You're sending data to the cloud, which helps others who might be premium users. So you should be rewarded. And you can actually buy a licensed vehicle NFT in the app. It's an actual representation of a car, or it could be your dream car. This is an NFT that you own. You can upgrade, resell on the blockchain. Through our communication with BMW and Fiat Chrysler and other leading car manufacturers, they want to connect with these users through Atlas Navi. Imagine, I don't know, being a part of a collaborative hub of millions of users that together can save hundreds of millions of hours spent in traffic. And that's our vision and why we're looking to revolutionize the navigation app market. That's it.
Fantastic, George. No, thank you so much.
Okay. Okay.
Very interesting what you're building. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of questions, so we'll hop right in.
Sure, I'll go first. George, who are your competitors? Because I know there's a few products on the market that are trying this out. Number one, who are your competitors and who are your maybe future clients in terms of partners that you've spoken to?
Sure. So in terms of competitors, we see Google Maps and Waze as the biggest navigation apps out there, or traditional navigation apps, and they're mainly our competitors. First and foremost, we are a navigation app. We've already built it. It's not publicly available, but we have tested it for a number of months, and it does work. So we see the navigation apps as being the main competitors, whereas we're aware of some drive-to-earn apps out there that are trying to pay you with cryptocurrency. We don't really see them as a competitor. So yeah, did that answer your question? Sorry.
Why are they not seen as a competitor, and who are do you have any partners that have agreed to test your product out?
Sure. So maybe I should provide some background. We, as a company, we've been in the transportation and mobility space, software space for about 10 years. So we've built about 80 different rideshare, carpool, delivery apps, fleet management, dispatching for all sorts of industries. We have over $6 million of our software, the apps that we've built for our clients, over 200 and something million orders that we process through our platform. So we have a few apps out there that are still using our existing software. And even though we've been working on this for 2 years, we still have recurring subscriptions from that. We're going to aim to work with them as the first users for this, and also build a community around the crypto side of the project. And going after fleet accounts, the app actually has a module that allows fleets to dispatch jobs to their drivers. And that's a premium feature that fleet managers will have to pay for within their company. And that's our strategy to market towards these B2B users, but also going after the B2C, regular drivers who drive every day, even for an hour. But yeah.
Really quickly, what blockchain?
BSC, Binance.
Thanks, Leila. Fernando, I see you're unmuted.
Yeah, George, could you elaborate a little bit more on the NFT strategy for this project? Because it seems like it's a new thing, and I don't understand really how it works with the whole system.
Sure. So we initially we started off as a navigation app. Like I said, we worked on it for about 2 years now. We actually got a grant from the European Union to to do the research and buy hardware, AI hardware to train the algorithms and all that. The NFT component came to us when we decided to, it was quite boring to have an arrow representing you on the map. And we realized that a lot of people are very passionate about the car they drive or their dream car. If you have that question, if you won the lottery tomorrow, what kind of car would you drive? What kind of car would you buy? And some people, they prefer whatever, Ferrari. Some people don't care about it. And I think we want to translate that passion for your dream vehicle or the current vehicle that you have into a navigation app. And that makes the most sense to us. And especially, having these NFTs licensed and in partnership with car manufacturers, we think we can be a perfect outlet for them to sell digital goods, their vehicles. You can customize it, and through that, maybe getting some access to experience days, maybe some exclusive test drives or unveilings of new vehicles. We thought having an NFT of a car makes complete sense in a navigation app and nowhere else. So that's why we added that in. And owning it, how many Ferraris are in, I don't know, in a small city in Romania, for example, where I am right now. There's probably like 5 or something. So, in Bucharest, I mean, and we want to represent that as well in a way. So there's a rarity component to it. There's you can upgrade the vehicle, you can trade it, resell it, and we think that through that you can actually, have your dream vehicle on there before you hold it in reality. We think people are very passionate about the vehicles, some cars and some car brands, and we wanted to reflect that in an app, and it made complete sense.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All righty, George. Well, thank you so much, and congratulations on everything you built so far.
Thank you.
All right, folks, let's move on. I'm going to bring on stage Rodrigo with Waira Coxa. Rodrigo, give me 1 second, and I'll give you the presenter role. If I can find you here. Here we are. All right, Rodrigo, you should be able to share your screen.
The last user is using the screen. I cannot do.
Oh, sorry about that. Let me try to make you co-host one more time.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how to. Oh, stop share. Got it. Sorry.
Thank you. No problem.
Okay, one sec. Let me make you a co-host again. There, Rodrigo. Okay, can you try to share your screen now?
Yes.
All
Can you
right,
see my screen?
Yeah, definitely. And you did mention, I did want to mention you, this presentation, you had mentioned you have a different name, Firuno. But
Firuno.
Yeah, sorry. But just so everybody's sure, in the judges scorecard, it's Waira Coxa, just so we're on point. Rodrigo, you're up, sir. Whenever you're ready, you could start, and I'll start the timer.
Perfect. Thank you very much. My name is Rodrigo Venegas. I'm the founder of Fidunova. Fidunova is part of the Waira Coxa ecosystem. Trusts and funds have different problems: manual processes, slow transactions, and the illiquidity of investments. I have assembled a team to make those problems a thing of the past. Today, trusts and funds have paper titles and they run the record on Excel. We want to create digital ownership rights with tokens running on Algorand blockchain that move around with digital wallets. This way, we can give digital mobility to different assets, We deposit them in trust and funds and create ownership rights in the way of tokens that are completely legally binding. When you have your money at our system, we offer you a debit MasterCard, ACH to make payments and transfers, and over 55,000 cash out points nationwide. In Colombia, we have over $120 billion locked in investment vehicles. In Latin America, it's over $1 trillion. Our platform is going to give them liquidity so that these assets can really get liquid that right now they are not. We project to have $4 billion in our systems and have a lot of transactions by year 2025. And that's where we monetize with transactions, commissions, and services. Funds and trusts will pay a monthly subscription to us, and they will receive a secondary market, a monitoring tool so that people can see the advance of the investment they have done, stepping documents for the fiduciary or fund or trust, and a loyalty program that is unknown right now in Colombia, at least in this sector. We have different partners. As Coibanks, that is a banking software developer, we have Algorand as a sponsor, and we have Huawei as payment partner, and MasterCard as credit card partner. We have been finalists in different events and received different acknowledgements. And I'm open to your questions.
All right, fantastic. Rodrigo, thank you so much for a great presentation. I'll go ahead and open this up for questions.
I guess, sorry, go for it.
Go for ahead. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to say, so given the fact that you're using trust and funds to collateralize these digital assets, is there any potential risk of liquidation as we're seeing lots of fluctuation in the markets right now? Just interested how that works.
Well, there's always the possibility of them to liquidate, but here in Colombia, it will work exactly as it will work in the real world. We just digitalizing these investment vehicles, but the risk that exists in the real world is right there. It's the same.
So right now, how are these assets handled in Colombia? If you could just give us a quick brief.
It's basically when you deposit in these trust and funds here in Colombia, they have these titles that are paper made, and they run the record on Excel. So if you want to resell your title, you have to call the trust fund manager and tell them you want to sell. But there's not a marketplace for them to resell. It's very, very enclosed. So that's why it's illiquid. If you want to sell, it's a buyer's market. They offer you whatever they want. And we want to create a proper space for people to change those titles, basically.
What blockchain is it on, and who's securing the token?
Algorand is the blockchain that we're using. And securing in which medium?
In terms of the vulnerabilities of putting this data on a blockchain and pegging it to a token, there's a lot of vulnerabilities and issues that come up with that. So in terms of security-wise, how is this secured?
We do it. We do it, and we use the financial standards, basically, to secure that investment exists, is real, that the managers are experienced, and all have to be registered in the Colombian national record of authorized fund managers. So they all have obligations with the government. It's just the same that like in the real world. We're a platform as a service.
Is there any insurance on risk? Like how's the insurance provided? Is it through the service providers, the deck that provides this? Who insures if there is like a hack or a leak?
In case there's a hack or a leak of information, Fidunova will be the one facing the problem. That's it. In the real world, you don't need to have an additional insurance when you have a fiduciary business. But and as I said, this is a platform as a service. So basically all the regulations, all the legal frame that is involved in this is the same that is with the trust and fiduciary sector. So it's basically the same.
And how do you feel about the scalability of your project beyond Colombia? Because it seems that in Colombia, there's a need for this, but outside of Colombia.
Well, the situation is basically the same, at least in the Latin American region. Maybe in the US or Europe might be more liquidity tools, but our second country is going to be Mexico. We know we can do it there too, and we are going to move to Brazil and Chile as well. And our business, the way it's structured is to be a platform as a service, basically a way for trust and funds to handle their records. And is not a way to, let's say, put this as securities in the market, which is a completely different thing. And as you saw, we are part of an ecosystem. And at our ecosystem, we have one exchange that is called PIP-NOA. And PIP-NOA is basically to make the funds that are working in FIDUNOVA to be an ETF, an exchange-traded fund. So they work in tandem. And when you are in PIP-NOVA and you are issuing these securities to the public, that's a security, basically. So it has a different legal frame. So this presentation is for FIDUNOVA, which is basically a platform as a service for trust and funds to handle their own investment vehicles.
Hi, Rodrigo. I would like to know how many clients do you have now in Colombia?
We have 3 clients we're working with. Unfortunately, I cannot give you the names because we are logged in with the NDAs, but they're financial entities.
Okay, thank you.
All righty, Rodrigo. Well, thank you very much. Yep. We'll go ahead and we'll move on to our next presentation. I want to just take this quick moment for a quick PSA. Judges, if you could please remember to follow along in the scorecard and score in real time so we can wrap up with the event and announce the winners swiftly. Next up, we have Steve from Counter 10. Steve, give me 1 second and I'll give you the role. All right, Steve, you should be able to share your screen.
Perfect. Thanks very much, everyone. So my name is Steve Shulman, and I'm the founder and CEO of Counter 10. Counter 10 is looking to be the world's first truly mainstream platform that allows NFTs to be sold by brands for different opportunities around brand engagement, access, and utility. So you have to forget everything you know about NFTs, all of the rug pulls, all of the speculation, because we're really convinced we've done this right. Our differentiation is in 3 things. Number 1, we're focusing on real world utility. So this could be events, this could be retail promotions, it could be memberships, it could be youth sports, anything in real world, we create and provide NFTs for it. How we do this is that we allow NFTs to be easily purchased without any knowledge of cryptocurrency, gas fees, digital wallets. We make it simple. We are fiat first. Someone jumps on our site, puts in a credit card. Within a minute, they've now got their NFT. We've selected the Google and Apple digital wallets as our place where we showcase NFTs because we feel that everyone is used to those environments. They're used to downloading boarding passes. They're used to downloading Starbucks cards. So why not NFTs? And every NFT that we create, we put a QR code on, and we've patented technology, we patent pending technology that allows the NFT to be verified for authenticity and ownership within 2 or 3 seconds by anyone with a camera phone. So that means that any business now can verify NFTs at the place of business, allow access, allow utility right easily. There's a ton of opportunities that we're exploring. Some of these include retail promotions, event access, youth sports. What you see on the screen is actually a screenshot of my wallet, my Apple wallet, with some of the NFTs inside there, and we select those. We've started our product market fit on the digital NFT rookie cards because we feel that those are a great opportunity to get in. Kids will go in, customize their cards, and be able to use them not only as collectibles, but as real world opportunities for promotions with merchandise and food and things like that. Our platform is currently live as of last month. We're currently raising a VC seed round, and we're very excited that we're going to bring NFTs to market. And our expectation is to make this really something that everyone can get behind and understand the value of NFTs. I'm sure there are questions. I'd love to open this up for anyone who's got some.
Thanks, Steve. Sounds great. Yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll hop right into questions.
So how do you connect the NFT to the Google or Apple wallet? It's just that image, and then you have the QR code, and then you verify the NFT that exists somewhere else?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. So what we do is we built on the Solana blockchain. We will go to other blockchains down the road, but we create, we've got a web application. So you'd go onto the site, you'd purchase the NFT. there'd be an option that immediately sends an email to the consumer who's purchased it with a link to download it to their Apple or Google Wallet. That is a digital representation. When it's scanned, it goes into our platform, pulls out the name and information, goes into the blockchain to verify that that NFT still belongs to that user, and immediately comes back and gives a validation on that. And I'll show you over here. This is when you scan this. So firstly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, I'd love anyone who's out there just to pick up your camera phone and just scan this over here. You'll get a sense of what that looks like. Once you scan this, it'll come back with a page that will show you the name of the person who owns the NFT, whether the NFT is valid. And we really want to be transparent about this. So we actually put a link that goes and connects the person to the Solana public blockchain to view that. That page looks like this. So once you actually go in and scan an NFT, this is what it looks like. So this is a Starbucks sample NFT. You can see this is rare token, serial number 1 of 10. It's valid. It's owned by the name. And then if you clicked on that from the browser that's done the scan, you can actually view it on the blockchain itself. So this, one of the things that's interesting is this brings now information about the customer directly to the brand.
And can you sell these NFTs in a secondary market?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So we've got a secondary market. The way that we've approached this is a little different from what you see on OpenSea. Our expectation is we're going to have brands, you know, that are really high end, such as Nike, McDonald's. Other brands might just be like, you know, Joe's Food Truck. And, you know, having them all together in a single marketplace is tricky. So what we do is we create a landing page for each brand. That landing page has all their public available primary sale NFTs, as well as a link to the secondary market. When you create an NFT, you can choose whether you want it to be made public or whether you want it to be private, and you can always change it down the road. So sometimes you might want to whitelist a few people, then open it up. So from the secondary market, let's say it's Nike, you'd be able to just send them to the Nike secondary market page, and anyone who's dealing in NFTs for that would be right there without all the noise on the background. And then just one thing to mention, one of the unique things about our platform as well, to prevent all the fraudulent transactions, is we provide 2 lines of JavaScript code that allows a brand to embed the NFT directly on their website. So you can go to nike.com/NFT. You don't have to worry about going to a secondary page, and that will be the NFT for sale. And people can then know that it is actually truly Nike and not someone pretending to be.
Thank you.
Sure.
All right, very cool, Steve. Well, thank you so much for that presentation.
Sure. Sure.
We'll go ahead and move on. I apologize. I'm sure there's a ton more questions, but we'll go ahead and move on to the next one. Wanted to mention too, Leroy and Nalanita, love to hear from you too. I might pick on you next time. Real quickly, let's bring up Mariana from Housebit. Mariana, give me a second, or do you want me to share Laurie's screen or Mariana your screen, whichever you would prefer?
Yeah, it can be my screen, please.
Okay, one second. Let me find you. Here we go. And okay, you should be able to share your screen now.
So perfect. Is everyone seeing my screen?
Yeah, we can see you and hear you loud and clear. So whenever you start, I'll start the timer.
Perfect. Thank you. So hello, everyone. My name is Mariana. I'm CEO of Housebit, and I'm here to talk about real estate. So real estate is truly the digital frontier. We can sell, buy, transact just about anything from beginning to the end in the internet, except to real estate. So the last update we had in real estate was with Zillow in 2006. And if we see the traditional real estate transactions, they are lent, expensive, complicated, intimidating, with a full long process, restricted to those with means and not immediate liquidity. So we are here to simplify. Now, one property will correspond to 1,000 ownership tokens, giving full or fractional real estate ownership, and one Housebit occupants NFT will give the person the right to live in a property. So Housebit will do all the heavy lifting just once, put the property on the blockchain, and then let the people sell, trade, invest, or find a place to live. All of this quickly, securely, low cost, permissionless, at just about any financial level with a few clicks. So here we have a cryptographically secure digital ecosystem for all aspects of real estate transactions, built and secure with blockchain technology. So in this flow chart, we can see that all the properties are held in a land trust. So the ownership tokens holder, they will have the beneficiaries of the trust. The token holders are entitled to any net monthly proceeds from the property paid to their wallets monthly. The trustee is the fiduciary, oversees the trust for the benefit of the beneficiaries. And how we make money, right? So the blockchain will be the basis of our operating model. So the revenue streams we're gonna have are the liquidity premiums on the token for the initial offering, a small token trading fees, eventual packaging of tokens into financial instruments, and a long way of partnership with all the DeFi ecosystem already existing on chain, especially on Polygon, that's where we are building and having the support. Here is a little bit of our team. We invite you to enter our website, enter our app as well. We are here to build the new standard of this industry, and we count with everyone with it.
Fantastic. Mariana, thank you so much. We'll go ahead and open up from the media panel.
I have a question.
Please.
So where are you doing this right now? Like, is it restricted to one country?
I will let Laurie explain this part. He's our regulatory affairs.
Laurie, I think you're on mute.
On mute. Okay, sorry. Yeah, right now we've started in Florida because the real estate laws are very favorable to what we're doing. This is a concept that can be applied virtually around the world. We just have to adjust to the local real estate laws. One of the things that we've done is we are really essentially working under real estate law. We have a licensed broker as a partner on this. So with each jurisdiction, we will partner with a local broker to ensure that we're compliant with the jurisdiction of choice.
Can you talk about some of your competitors, especially in Florida?
Right now, there are not a lot of competitors. There is some digitalization of real estate, but not real tokenization with liquidity. We're in fact looking for, I think, a little bit counterintuitive. We're actually looking forward to competition because we think this is a very radical concept. And one of the things about radical concepts is the more competition you have, the more it becomes mainstream. And we're looking forward to this being a mainstream, and the competition will keep us sharp.
Anybody else? I know perhaps Leila, you have a question? I'm not sure how much you cover real estate in the blockchain.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of projects upcoming trying to put real estate on a blockchain right now. And so it's difficult to gauge how the business model will work until we sort of see some of those go live. I haven't spoken to investors yet that have been cash flowing from the strategy. So it's difficult. I like the business model. I think it's, potentially the future, but to see, how that will play out in reality is a wait and see game.
Okay. Can I just comment to that? One of the things that we've done is by partnering with the real estate industry, all of a sudden we have thousands of real estate brokers who are slowly watching their business erode that will become partners and advocates for what we're doing. So we see this as something rather than having the brokers as competitors, we see them as partners and enablers.
And I really agree with you, Leila, that there is a lot of companies trying to make real estate or tokenizing or bringing another way. Just I think the angle we are trying to achieve here is really partnering with the real estate ecosystem and also the real estate laws. So we are not a security token, and also we are not putting ourselves as a security. So this is the way we're trying to get out of some of the other companies are managing their business.
All right, great. Well, Mariana, Laurie, congratulations. I gotta say, Laurie, you might have been born to be a legal advisor with a name like that. But congratulations and best of luck. We'll go ahead and move along. Again, a quick reminder for journalists to please continue to score as we go along. The next person up, we have Tuomas from Collector. Tuomas, give me 1 second and I'll make you the presenter. Alrighty, you should be able to share your screen when you're ready.
Hi, can you all see it?
Yep, and we can hear you loud and clear too. So whenever you're ready, Tuomas.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, everybody. I'm here to talk about Collector. What we're doing is we're creating a physical to digital bridge for real world collectibles, and we're going to power this by the Solana blockchain. Let's see if I can advance the slide. There we go. So for those that aren't in the collectibles market, they're really surging in popularity, and this was a trend that started in 2010 about, and then it just got accelerated by the pandemic. We estimate that in 2022, there's going to be around $700 billion worth of collectibles transactions in the year. In our version 1.0 launch that we're developing, we believe that there's about 75 billion of addressable market, and that includes the asset classes of cards, comics, coins, and stamps. So what is the problem with the collectibles market? The problem is it takes a long time to sell something, and there's a lot of friction. So for example, I'm holding up a collectible card right here. If I were to go and sell this on eBay, it'd take me about 2 hours of time and take me about 10 steps. And for the benefit of doing this, I'm going to have to pay around 12% transaction fees, and that's split between eBay and PayPal and FedEx and packaging and all that kind of stuff. What we're going to do with collectors, we're going to allow participants to create an auction or a sale. We're going to charge a 2% fee, and settlement will be instant because it's on the blockchain. So how do we do this? What we do is we allow users to deposit their physical cards to a vault. So there's a number of vaults that exist in the United States. The biggest one is PWCC. They have around $2 billion worth of collectible cards in their vault. You could imagine a concrete bunker with 250 security cameras and 24-hour armed guards. And once they're stored and insured, what we do is we notify the user they can come back to our front end. They'll mint what we're calling a PNFT, or a physically backed NFT, on our front end that represents the ownership interest of this collectible that's stored in a vault. With that PNFT, they could do whatever they want with it. We hope they come back to our marketplace and trade them on our marketplace, because that's where we're going to earn our transactional revenue by doing that. In addition to transacting on our marketplace, they can burn their PNFT, and once the PNFT is burned, it'll be shipped worldwide wherever they want it to go. So the value of the PNFT is always going to be reflected. And then what can a user do with it? You can protect it, you can trade it on the marketplace, and then finally with version 2, we're going to be able to use them as collateral. So you can borrow against your PNFTs, and this is something that can't be done with traditional collectibles unless you're a whale and have tens of millions of dollars of art.
All right, Tuomas.
Yep, thank you.
And that's time, and thank you so much. My first question is, what card were you holding up?
Oh, this is a Bayou from the beta edition of Magic the Gathering. It's from 1993. This card's worth about $300. I don't like to show off too much, but behind me I got more. So,
right on. All right, well, cool, and really cool what you're building. I know some friends that would be interested in this. Let's go ahead and see media judges. Do you have any questions?
I'll ask a really quick question. In terms of borrowing against your NFT, like how does this work? I know with crypto, yes, it's volatile, but there's always someone to liquidate it in the market. With NFTs, how do you peg value, and how do you know that there is going to be value when you borrow against it?
Sure. So when the card goes into the vault, there's a assessment of the value of the card because it needs to have an insured value. So let's say the insured value of this card is $300. The markets for these collectible cards have been around for 50, 60 years. So in contrast to crypto, where you have a lot of volatility because there isn't much price finding, the price for cards is actually fairly stable. There's a very deep market for cards. And so we know what the value of the cards are in the vault. And when we allow people to borrow against them, we're not going to do full collateralization. We're going to allow people to borrow about half of the value of their card. And then there's going to be a margin call if the value of the card goes down. And because we have physical possession of the card in the vault, when they deposit their PNFT into the smart contract to borrow against, will be able to take possession of the physical card and sell it to recoup if there is a margin call on it. So very similar to how Aave or Compound work. When you deposit crypto assets, you'll be depositing the PNFTs instead.
So just a quick question. I know with physical collectibles, I guess part of the appeal is that you actually have physical access to it. So how does that work with the vault system that you guys have in place? And then I guess a secondary part to that question, you mentioned kind of the existing transaction process of having to package it and ship it. I mean, isn't that still the case when it's going to the vault? Let's say I'm in possession and I digitize it. Isn't there still that process in the back end?
Absolutely. So let me handle the second question first. So basically, when somebody ships in the card for the vault, they're only going to have to do it once. You could imagine if you are a trader of cards, the typical turnover of these cards is once every 2 years. So you're going to buy or sell a card once every 2 years on eBay. So in this case, you only have to do it once, and you're doing it with a trusted third party rather than shipping it to somebody in Estonia where it might get stuck in customs and all that kind of stuff. So I think the concept is you get it done once, it's on the vault. If you're going to buy a card, you just come to our marketplace and you buy it, and you never have to deal with the shipping. In addition, PWCC, as I mentioned, and there's a number of other vaults, already has $2 billion worth of cards in the vault. So a big part of our early adopters and our early interest is going to come from people who are already familiar with vaulting their cards. Getting back to your first question, I have the value of the cards that I have is actually worth more than my house. And if you ask me how many people have I shown my collection to in the last 10 years, I'd say 0, because there's a window right here and I don't sleep well at night because of the value that's behind me. I would much rather, take my 10,000 or so cards, have an online display gallery with my PNFTs where I could have a link on my Twitter and be able to flex in a way that we are getting more accustomed to with Web3. I can't flex this collection. I can't take this binder and go to the brewery and say, oh, look at my cards. That's really not cool. So I'd rather flex in a way that I can prove to my Twitter audience, prove to my friends in Web3 what I actually own. And eventually, thinking 5-10 years from now, be able to show in the metaverse what I own to people worldwide. So maybe I'll keep a few treasures that I want to look at and hold and caress, but for the most part, I would be much more comfortable having these stored in a secure vault.
I'm not sure, John, he mentioned kind of a future in the metaverse. Is there any questions kind of surrounding that in terms of what this might look like trading in the metaverse?
I mean, we're not even close to that yet. So it's not, I understand the idea of the fractional ownership of these cards. I did a lot of coverage on this recently. So I mean, there's enough interest in this that people would actually care. So.
Can I ask, when it becomes fractional ownership, is there anything that switches it over to a securities? Because there was an issue with fractional ownerships pegged to NFTs.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Leila. And we're not planning to fractionalize the cards until we see some of the other groups out there, other projects out there go through kind of that SEC rigor. The idea here is that you're going to have one PNFT per card. We have some ideas for version 3 and beyond that involve some fractionalization, but that's really not part of our business model. Right now, the ownership structure is one person owns one card. They're doing one transaction on eBay. We're trying to take that friction away from the collector and make it a much more enjoyable and easy hobby for people to connect with their passion and hobby.
Can they transfer the NFT without actually having to ask for the real card, like keeping the card in the vault and then just transfer the NFTs?
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Fernando. We're following kind of a similar concept to how the DTCC handles equity securities. So if you sell your shares of Tesla, you don't have to get your share certificates and deliver it to another place to do it. So the ownership of the actual physical card is going to follow the transfer of the PNFT. And this is, we call it a legal wrapper. There's going to be a legal wrapper with the custodial vault that's holding the card. And there's also going to be a legal contract when somebody mints the PNFT to allow for the transfer of that underlying object. We have a good NFT attorney that's helping us with these contracts.
You mentioned something about having displaying these NFTs in metaverse and showing them off. Have you thought about a model of renting the digital avatars of the NFTs?
That's a great question, Ivan. And one of the things that happened when I started playing Magic Gathering in early '90s, I had a deck with all of these cards. That deck today would probably worth around $250,000. So it's actually really prohibitive for people to go in and take it's called vintage. They can't take their vintage decks of cards and go play with it in a tournament. Somebody's going to get mugged in the parking lot. So wouldn't it be cool if you can go in and create a card that has a QR code or something, allow people to go and play with those cards in tournaments, and then you can just scan the card to see if somebody has ownership. So that's if you own it, but then also if you own the card and you want to rent it out, give somebody access to that card for that tournament, then they can basically rent it for 6 hours or whatever it is. So there's so many ways you can build on top of this concept once you have the primitives to allow for this physical to digital bridge. So thanks for that question.
All right, thank you, Tomas, and thanks everybody for all the questions. We're gonna keep moving here. Let's go ahead with Max from Chainstack. Max, give me just 1 second, and I'll bring you on.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All righty, Max, you should be able to share your screen. And whenever you're ready, Max, go ahead and we'll start.
Hey everyone, my name is Max Kaufman, head of gaming at Chainstack. We are the most reliable and accessible enterprise-grade managed blockchain services provider. Since hitting our stride last July, we've seen explosive growth. To highlight, we have over 40,000 developers currently in our community, over 10,000 current subscribers, and we're running and managing over 10,000 active nodes for our customers. Building on blockchain is hard. Scaling a decentralized application is even harder. Deploying, syncing, maintaining, and updating an RPC node yourself is a lot of work. Doing all this takes technical expertise, cost, and time associated to hiring a full team of engineers, managing multiple blockchain networks, and then you have to consistently be on your feet for maintenance or upgrades that could be required at any minute. So we made running and scaling back-end infra easy for Web3 builders. Chainstack is a one-stop shop solution for Web3 projects to quickly deploy, build, monitor, and scale RPC nodes and cloud infra services to allow for instant access to blockchain data. We offer enterprise-class SLAs and premium customer support. We're protocol and cloud agnostic with an ambitious roadmap to support up to 22 protocols by the end of the year and 40 to 46 protocols by the end of 2023. As well as continuing to add cloud hosting data centers all over the world to give our customers the highest availability and lowest latency of nodes. We're also project agnostic and are currently working with some of the biggest brands in Web3, as you can see here. We are a plan for everyone and offer complete transparent pricing for our website. Our revenue model consists of upfront monthly subscription costs, and depending on the node you're using, you're going to be paying per request or pay for the node compute, storage, and hours. To wrap up, we are the most reliable and accessible one-stop shop solution for Web3 infrastructure needs. Suggest you guys scan the QR code right there, click on the top link, and deploy your first node in a matter of minutes. It's a very high-level presentation. I'd love to get more in depth, so if you're curious to learn more, please reach out to me. Thank you, everyone.
Awesome, Max. Thank you, and coming in under time, which is always appreciated. We'll go ahead and open it up for this round of questions, please.
Yeah.
Anybody? John, Fernando? Oh, go ahead, Navanita.
Do you see any competition in this area?
Hey, Navanita, great question. Really appreciate that. So we do currently have competition. There's a few other competitors in our space, and it's a very competitive market. Right now, we are focused on being the most accessible managed blockchain services provider. And what I mean by that is being able to add the most or have the most protocol support and cloud infrastructure data center hosting locations. So we could pretty much work with any Web3 builder building on any protocol they're building on. And then from the perspective of where their customers are based, they would be able to host that node in, the cloud data center location where the majority of their customers are to get the highest availability and lowest latency of nodes.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions for Max?
I have a question that is kind of a more general question. So how do you approach decentralization versus centralization and the optimization of resources for the states?
Yeah, Fernando, that's a really good question. And honestly, I mean, that's something that everyone is striving for, being as decentralized as possible in this space. What we're doing best is we are, I mean, quote unquote, decentralizing the providers that we're currently utilizing and partnering with. We don't offer just one cloud hosting, partner like AWS or Azure. We have all three, and we're looking to expand to even more sometime down the road. And then also we have data center locations, as I said, in a ton of different areas. So there's always room for redundancy and backup and utilizing different locations if needed. It's a very hard thing to, completely decentralize, but we're doing our best, spreading resources out as much as possible and giving you guys the opportunity to choose whatever you want to use.
Can you talk about some of the companies you've worked with?
Yeah. So one of the biggest companies that we have. So the problem that they had when they came to us was they were utilizing multiple different node providers. So for example, they were using competitor A for building on Ethereum, competitor B for building on Polygon, competitor C for building on another protocol, and even running their own nodes on another protocol, while also handling a different cloud infrastructure service subscription. So when they came to us and realized that they could do all of that in one subscription, and of course, you're not managing all these different subscriptions or working with all these different sales reps, you're really just putting everything in one basket, as well as lowering the cost, making it as cost effective in one subscription. It was a no-brainer for them to join with us. And they're currently utilizing over 2 billion plus requests per month that we're handling for them.
All righty. Well, Max, thank you so much for a great presentation, man. We're reaching the end. I just want to really quickly remind everybody, please go ahead and fill those scorecards out. I'll bring up right now Adrian, Reveal Technology. Give me one sec, Adrian.
Great. Thank you. Max, great presentation. Dig the service.
Yep.
Hi, everyone. Here, I'm going to try to share my screen with you all. Can you see my screen?
Yep, we can see and hear you loud and clear. So whenever you're ready.
Great, fantastic. Well, then let me kick it off. Cool. My name is Adrian Stern, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Reveal, and we're building a financial operating system for Web3 creators. I'd like you to meet Latasha. She's a successful crypto artist that we're collaborating with. And just like Latasha, thousands of creators are collaborating to release literally millions of NFTs on various marketplaces. Latasha, for example, uses at least 4 different marketplaces to release her content. And when her art is sold, well, cryptocurrency is sent to her wallet. But she has no clear view of, which specific collection it's coming from. Is it a primary or a secondary sale? On which marketplaces are these secondaries happening, and therefore who are her collectors? And so she's missing out on a lot of really valuable insights. And on top of this, this is how she needs to figure out the royalties that she's making for a specific project, and therefore know how much she needs to send to her collaborators for a specific project. She literally needs to go through Etherscan and sift through transaction logs to figure out how much she needs to pay her different collaborators. And so today, NFT royalty management is an accounting nightmare. And that's why we're building Reveal, a platform where creators can track on-chain revenue for their entire portfolio and gain valuable insights on the performance of their business, as well as automate the accounting for their creative team with our revenue share protocol, which redistributes revenue automatically to the different rights holders, partners, or collaborators on a specific collection. So today we're partnering with top tier creators like Kaiser, Daz Dillinger, Harrison First for the rollout of our alpha, which we just released last week. And we're really excited to see that on average, there are almost 4.5 collaborators per project, just showing how strong sort of the viral potential is for Reveal. and the product-led growth element. And simply by taking a fee on the royalties that we process through our smart contracts, we can generate really amazing unit economics. So we believe that we're in a great position to become the financial stack for Web3 creators. We just closed our pre-seed round, and we are supported by one of the leading crypto players, Binance. And I'd be happy to answer any questions.
All right, great presentation. We'll go right into it, Adrian. I know you have a hard stop too. So I'm not sure, Fernando, John, anybody have questions you want to start off with?
I love it. I haven't. The thing is, I haven't thought about this issue, and I think it's a great solution to a problem that I didn't know that was a problem, and actually it is. Yeah, true. So no, I mean, what the user experience of this of revenue is a web-based product. It's something that you can handle on an app on the go.
Yeah, currently it's web. We're definitely have the intention of rolling out a mobile application as part of the roadmap. Currently it's web only. The first version of the protocol has just been released, so creators can establish these revenue share smart contracts, which can be used for funneling royalties from an NFT collection, but as well just sharing revenue around a specific project with different entities. So it's a very composable concept.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions I can answer, or was everything crystal clear?
Sound of a good presentation, Adrian.
What is the process of connecting Reveal with your wallet?
Yeah, it's a great question. So creators log on to the platform, and they can basically establish the rules for their revenue share smart contract and refer all their collaborators by their wallet, right? And so once that smart contract is created, any recipient of that smart contract can connect to the smart contract and withdraw their share of the funds independently of all the other ones, right? So it's not like a multi-sig. There is independence for each of the parties involved, and that's sort of the relationship between the owner's wallet and the smart contract.
Thanks.
A lot of this seems like collaboration between music artists. Are you also trying to manage the rights holding and licensing agreements with the platform?
Yeah, that's a really good question. We have a lot of record labels who are coming to us as they're trying to put out music NFTs, and so we have actually just put out a free revenue share agreement template to cover these elements of copyright for different types of media assets. So potentially we might embed that into the product if you're creating a revenue share smart contract for a specific media asset, being able to tie in the copyright and licensing elements of that. Yeah.
All right, Adrian. Well, great work and really
Thank
cool
you.
and awesome partnerships you have so far too. We'll go ahead and bring on the last startup. And again, if everybody can look to have the judges scorecard finalized at the end of this round, we'll make a quick announcement. I also wanted to mention there'll be probably a minute or two. If any of the startups have any questions, again, we have a really impressive list of media here. If any startups have any questions about best practices when contacting the media, how they like to be pitched, what makes a story newsworthy, anything in particular that maybe relates to your company as well, please feel free, and we can take a minute or two to go over that as well. The last startup, but certainly not the least, we have Elena from Flashback. Elena, thank you very much for waiting patiently for us. Let me go ahead and put you on.
Hi, everyone. Okay,
Elena?
yeah, now I can share screen.
Awesome.
Okay, everyone can see it?
Yep, we can see you and we can hear you. And so whenever you're ready.
Awesome. So hello, everyone. And I would like to introduce Flashback One, a platform that helps businesses to boost their revenue through collaboration with other businesses, creating communities, joint loyalty programs, and of course, gamified missions. We started seeing that there is a huge problem that unites small businesses regardless of their industry, whether it's cafe owners, restaurants, bars, galleries, event organizers. They all struggle with customer acquisition and retention because there is not enough consumer data for them to make decisions. Digital marketing for most of small businesses is very complicated, time-consuming, and expensive, and they struggle to leverage their operational costs. For example, if a coffee shop located in one neighborhood, rent is very high, they simply can't move to another neighborhood because they will lose access to their community that they established at that neighborhood. And on top of that, they decided to start building apps. They spent on average $8,000 to develop an app for their business. And no one wants to download an app because people don't want to have hundreds of applications on their cell phone. And that was their attempt to build a community and establish loyalty programs with their existing customers. That simply didn't work. And Flashback gives them an opportunity to start creating branded communities with our unified platform. So now there is only one app that consumers need to download. And businesses now can build their communities. They can establish joint loyalty programs with other merchants. They get access to powerful consumer data to improve their marketing and just operational decisions. And it helps to save them money on app development and boost their revenue by 40%. It looks very simple. We introduce a Flash Pass that essentially is an NFT. And since we're going after general market, we understand that NFT is still very complicated for majority of small businesses that are our target audience. That's why NFT part is hidden at the back end. We're making onboarding as smooth as possible. And on the step 2, we will start educating them about Web3 and how they can benefit from NFT technology, royalties. Oh, can you hear me?
Oh, sorry, I just said 10 seconds.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. So they can start collaborating. And here's one of the examples of NFT Flash Passes. So it can be whether a membership with different loyalty programs and perks, or it can be a joint loyalty program with other merchants. Let's say 2 coffee shops partnering up with a restaurant, and now you can visit any of their locations and still be a part of their loyalty program.
And time.
Okay.
Sorry about that, Elena, but thank you very much. This is really cool what you're building. We'll go ahead and open up for the last round of questions. And then again, I hate to beat a dead horse, but if you guys could also please finish up the scorecard, we'll get on with it. So thanks again, Elena, for a great presentation. And please, any questions from the media panel?
I'll jump in. So I think the big purpose of, I guess, Web3 and this blockchain technology is that users take back control of their data and they hold that data. And we anticipate that in the future, all of that data that belongs to one user will belong to it. So how do you sort of reintegrate this idea of collecting user data through these apps, when we're moving into this Web3 world?
Of course, first of all, I'm a big advocate of decentralization. I participate in all major conferences and pitching for decentralization. And that's, of course, a major part of our business as well. So first of all, integrating NFT technology allows merchants to get control over their community. So they are using our platform because it's easier for them to manage day-to-day operations. It's easier for them to onboard. It's easier for them to get in touch with their consumer base, especially with people who have no idea about Web3, about crypto, MetaMask, and any other applications. But later, if let's say we decided to move to a different industry, or government put some restrictions And merchants now, like if it's just a centralized platform, merchants would lose access to their communities. They will have to comply with different regulations. In our case, merchants still have access to their community because all these flash passes are NFTs. So they can still continue communicating with their community outside of platform. Just we made it way easier for them to onboard and create these NFTs. But same way with OpenSea, you're using OpenSea to mint your NFTs, but these NFTs can survive and live outside of OpenSea. And in terms of user data, people also can withdraw their NFTs. They can move them to different wallets. They can take full control and ownership over these flash passes. They can also choose to trade them at the secondary market if they earned some different rewards or perks. We also have a data anonymity. So if people don't obviously want to disclose their names, they will be able to stay anonymous. And of course, it also comes with their merchants and their requirements. So we enable a whole opportunity for people to start moving to a Web3 space. And we want to kind of position ourselves as an onboarding stage for people to enter the world of Web3, for general user to start exploring and understanding why data privacy is important, and at the same time supporting small businesses.
Does that answer the question, Leila?
Somewhat, yeah.
All righty. Anybody else? All right. Well, Elena, thank you so much for a great presentation, and congratulations again on what you're building. If we could just take 30 seconds, judges, to finalize the scorecard. And once it's done, we will announce the third, second, and first place winners. While we're doing that, I also, again, wanted to invite any startups that might have questions surrounding the media. Please feel free to ask if there's anything kind of personal. And a lot of times I think startups have trouble identifying maybe a reporter that might be a good fit for a company like theirs and for a story that they have. If there's any kind of questions like that, please feel free to answer now or ask them. Don't be shy either.
I'll jump in with a question. Just curious to know actually a two-part question. The first is, do reporters prefer to be contacted through a network like LinkedIn, or is email the preferred option? That's the first question. And then the second question I'll ask at the same time is, if there are multiple people, within an organization that are all likely good candidates to connect with, is it bad practice to connect with all of them through a single email, or should we connect with one and then ask to be referred to another?
Yeah, you should only connect with one at a time, and always connect with like a lower person on the totem pole. Like, you don't want to send it to an editor or whatever. What was the other question? Oh, LinkedIn. Yeah, LinkedIn is junk. Don't use LinkedIn. You can maybe DM them on Twitter if their DMs are open, but most of the time it's going to be email.
Thank you very much.
I would say also just make sure you're DMing or reaching out to the most appropriate reporter, because sometimes it may seem like a reporter covers your beat, but they cover a very specialized angle. And just always read the reporter's profile, because it's very frustrating when a lot of emails come in and it just isn't close to what we cover.
Makes sense. Thank you.
What's the best way to get your attention or their attention?
Pitch with a headline that is very reflective of our beat and what we can cover.
Awesome. Thank you. And
you should also basically say, hey, this is a cool thing. Can I show you how it works? As opposed to, we've already been written about. Here's a pitch for what we're thinking about working on. It basically has to be a finished product. You can't really, unless you've got a funding round, you can't really pitch an idea. So the best email is basically a 2-liner that says, hey, I got this cool thing. Can I show you? And then follow up once, follow up twice. And if they don't get back to you, then maybe you can have And then somebody asked, how do you identify the correct reporters? You just have to read the site. And like there's two ways to do it. The PR, some PR people are going to dump, like if you hire a PR person, they might send out a mass email to like 50,000 journalists, which kind of works sometimes. Or then maybe they have direct relationships with interesting journalists, but there's definitely no guarantee of coverage. And then when you come for your own purposes, who you should talk to, you should always talk to like the lowest reporter on the totem pole in your beat. Never email the editor, you always email a reporter.
Could you go in just to explain a little bit about that too, John?
What was that?
Can you explain just a little bit about the idea behind emailing the reporter versus the editor, and why that would be beneficial?
The editor at that point is basically done with the space. They're completely burnt. A reporter is always looking for stories, so they're always looking for daily stories. So you basically try to find somebody who's actually writing on a daily basis as opposed to not writing on a daily basis.
Awesome. All right. If there's no more questions, we'll move forward. I know a couple of people have a really hard stop on the half-hour mark, so I want to make sure we announce everybody before then. So first off, I want to thank everybody for joining us. Thank you, judges. Really humbled and happy to have you guys here. Maybe Natalia, would you be cool with naming the third, second, and first place? And then when we call your name, if you want to, the startup wants to come on and say hi one last time, we'd love to have that too.
Yes, of course, no worries. Okay, like a big prize for this afternoon, we will start with the third place that is going to Collector. Congratulations.
Awesome, Tomas. Congrats.
Thank you very much, guys.
Okay, the second place is for Housebeat.
Mariana.
Thank you, guys.
Way to go, Mariana.
Okay, and the most expected is the first place. A little bit of suspense. It's for Reveal Technology.
Hey, Adrian.
Congratulations, Adrian.
Hey, thank you. Thank you very much. Really appreciate the vote of confidence. And if anyone wants to learn more about it, feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to talk more and eventually show you what we have, because we do have something to show. So John, if you want to have a look at it, happy to show you.
All right.
Congratulations, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah,
Thank
congrats.
You.
Everybody, we'll go ahead and we'll send some contact information as well. If anybody wants to get in touch, please feel free to email myself at jim@publicize.co. Thank you again to all of the journalists who took time out of their day today, to all of the startups, and also a special thanks to my colleagues, Eunice and Natalia, for all of the work organizing this on the back end. We'll hope to see you next time at the next Connect event, and have a good rest of the day. Bye-bye.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
With everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.